The tragic tale of Jackie Chan's son.
Jackie Chan's only son hasn't had the easiest life.
Okay.
Between an unsuccessful film career and the time he spent in prison, JC Chan has been unable to live up to the high standards set by his father, and it all began with JC's luxury upbringing after his birth in 1982. At this point in time, Jackie Chan was permanently busy with acting and would therefore spend only 2 weeks per year with his son, which was
2 weeks? What's the point of having a kid? What you having a kid for? 2 weeks? And then they're gonna call Jackie Chan's son a failure, like his dad wasn't in his life. That's insane.
Contained in the household as they were too famous to go outside. His father's busy schedule meant that JC was raised almost entirely by his mother, who began to spoil him with luxuries afforded by Jackie Chan's fame and fortune. Jackie wrote in his memoir, when he was little, JC never had to worry about having enough food, how to pay his school fees, or if he needed to be driven anywhere. I would arrange it all. I regretted that later. No one should have such a good life from their birth.
That's what you regret. Oh, I'm not in my kid's life. It's because they got to have fun and play whenever they wanted to. Okay.
Jackie Chan clearly believed this, as his upbringing was almost the opposite. Brought up in dirt poor conditions by refugee parents who couldn't even afford to pay for his birth, Jackie Chan was forced to develop discipline as well as an appreciation for scarcity. In addition to this, Jackie Chan's youth consisted of drama training all day long, from 5 AM to 11 PM with breaks for lunch and dinner. When he misbehaved, he was beaten with canes. When he fell ill, he was told to suck it up, which Jackie Chan has since highlighted as beneficial in comparison to his son's upbringing.
I really thank you, my teacher, that tortured me, becoming really, we never drop one rice on the table. Whenever I go back my home, I see my son's shoes, one like this, one like this.
I feel like that sounds like Jackie Chan would be a horrible person to be around. I'm not trying to be around that man like that. Imagine you eating, you got some spaghetti on your cheek, and he's like, whoa, hey! like no, nigga. We see people like me. I accept mistakes. I like mistakes. You know, when someone's too perfect, I hate that. That pisses me off.
One socks, not the socks. No discipline.
JC's cushy childhood led Jackie Chan to write in his book, when he was a teenager, I definitely didn't think JC was pushing himself hard
I wonder
enough.
if his father was there.
I'd work all day, go jogging at night, then get back and see that he'd gone to bed, even though it was only 9-something. I'd grumble, he's asleep already. I'd storm out in a bad mood and go jogging again, thinking when I was his age, I wished he could follow me around all day to see how much I did. Sometimes I'll have 8 meetings in a row, right up until midnight, then I'll go home, do some exercise
in my
and read
day.
scripts. JC's clear lack of drive and ambition in comparison to his father led JC to drop out of college at the end of his first year, stating, I wanted to be a musician. All you can see in Virginia is sheep, although other sources state that he was expelled from the school as a result of excessive drinking, unclean living conditions, and 2 semesters worth of unwarranted absences.
I wonder if he had a dad, if he would be, you know.
Desire to become a musician was against the will of Jackie, who had not wished to see their son in show business. He wanted JC to be a lawyer, an engineer, or a doctor, as JC's mother had, quote, already lost her husband to this profession. Despite the wishes of his parents, JC moved from Los Angeles to Hong Kong in 2004, where he planned on cultivating his own successful story in music, stating, it is my hope to become famous based on my own abilities, rather than rely on my image. JC was so confident in moving to China that he gave up his American nationality in exchange for Chinese nationality.
Damn.
However, it's possible that this choice came into question after he'd released his first album. Described in reviews as being a horrid absolute waste of money,
Damn.
the album simply titled JC was a commercial failure. The reason for this, as described by JC himself, was because Hong Kong is different from other places. You need to do music and movies, leading JC to appear in his first film titled The Twins Effect 2,
That
which
looks
received
mad.
an
That looks
IMDb,
mid.
leading JC
Look, this look ass.
to appear.
This look garbage. This is like a YouTube thumbnail. Oh my god, that looks terrible.
In his first film titled The Twins Effect 2, which received an IMDb rating of less than 5
I
out of
appreciate
10
it.
stars. And while it'd be ridiculous to expect an Avengers level performance from JC's first on-screen appearance, the movies which followed weren't that much better. He'd appear alongside his father for Jackie Chan
I see Kung Fu
appearance.
Panda.
The movies which followed weren't that much better.
Young Monkey, hey, Hey, he could be a voice actor. He may not be able to be like on stage actor, but hey, he ain't Kung Fu Panda.
He'd appear alongside his father for Jackie Chan's 100th movie titled 1911 Revolution, yet the collaboration resulted in Jackie Chan's
100th?
least financially successful and least positively received picture to date, grossing only $127,000 before receiving a score of 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did they just blame the failure of his 100th movie on his son? Y'all think the son just ruined the whole movie? Nah, that's a setup.
1 year
That's a
later,
setup. That's
JC
a
would
setup.
play the main character in a movie called Double Trouble, which also entered media headlines after grossing an even more pitiful $9,000 during its first 2 weeks, making it
Damn.
one of the biggest box office flops in history.
9,000
To add
is
insult to
disgusting.
injury, JC would then play the main role in a movie called Whoever, which despite a government mandate forcing it to be played in half of the country's cinemas, failed to crack the Chinese top 10 and has received only 15 ratings on IMDb since its release in 2012.
I don't think a whole movie can flop because of one person. I don't think that's fair. Y'all telling me he's the sole reason these movies flopped?
The
Okay,
only positive
bro.
news for JC seemed to have been coming from his music career, as his second studio album would top Taiwanese charts in 2010,
See?
although it seems the album hasn't achieved much long-term success, as there's not even a single online review for the music, and it took about 30 minutes of digging just to find the track list. The
Damn.
performance of the album was unimportant anyway, because on the 14th of August 2014, JC would find himself in a profound new media scandal, making every prior controversy seem insignificant. Police would upload footage of JC Chan being arrested at his parents' $10 million luxury Beijing apartment, during which he'd admit to having approximately 100 grams of weed in his cupboard. This was
Oh
extra
my
bad
god,
for the
he
Chan
had
family.
100 grams of weed. Like, y'all are on his dick. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all are on his meat. Y'all mad at him because he aspired to be a I shouldn't say y'all. It's not Sunny. He's just reporting what's happening. They're mad at him because he aspired to be a musician and not a lawyer, doctor, or whatever his dad wants. They're upset that he has no discipline, even though his dad wasn't there. He wanted to be, his dad would rather be a big movie star than his kid's life, right? This is ridiculous.
Family's reputation, as Jackie Chan had been China's official anti-drug ambassador since 2009. For this reason, Jackie Chan would take to social media to apologize, writing, "For my son JC to get into such trouble, I'm very angry and astonished. As a public figure, I'm ashamed. As a father, I'm heartbroken. I can't begin to describe his mother's pain. I failed to be a good father and I deserve the blame.
Yes,
I
you
will
do.
take the responsibility and apologize to the public on behalf of JC."
You do.
In the process, Jackie practically disowned his son, stating that he hadn't and didn't plan on using any of his connections to lessen JC's sentence.
It's not taking responsibility. I guess I'm tripping. I guess I might be tripping. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this from the wrong angle. Okay. If someone gets arrested in America for 100 grams of weed or whatever, we're just like, it's just weed. You know, that's us. Like, okay, weed. And they sell cigarettes in the store, so it's not that big of a deal. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I have not visited him even till now. I did not even use any connections to call
You didn't
anyone.
visit
If
him?
JC only went in jail for 1 week or 10 days, how would the public look at us? We are public figures and all the more we have to abide by the laws, which was accompanied by Jackie Chan somewhat hilariously telling JC's lawyer to slap him twice for me. While Jackie Chan wanted absolutely nothing to do with JC, the Chinese government took the opposite approach, making a public anti-drug example out of JC by televising the trial, which would happen approximately 4 months after his arrest. JC was sentenced to 6 months in prison and was ordered to pay a $320 fine for possession as well as the crime of sheltering others to take drugs.
They blew this out of proportion for $320. For $320. He disowned his son for $320. I'm blown.
JC took this sentence
blown.
humbly, stating, "I have broken the law and should be punished. When I return to society, I will not repeat this because I have let my family and friends down yet again, although this wasn't enough to satisfy his parents, who didn't even attend the trial." Whilst in prison, JC would send letters to his mother in which he explained that he experimented with drugs because of the bad crowd he was mixing with, and started relying on drugs to soothe himself whenever he felt upset. JC also wrote about the struggles he faced growing up in a famous family, and revealed that the expectations of fame played placed a lot of pressure on him.
That's fair.
He then expressed his unhappiness with Jackie for not showing him enough concern.
That's
However,
fair.
his father wasn't rushing to offer any kind of sympathy.
Oh, we know.
Jackie Chan would state in an interview, "I hope to be an anti-drug ambassador for life. I even hope that after JC is out, he can be an anti-drug ambassador too, telling everyone to stay away from drugs," which was followed by Jackie stating publicly that he supports the death penalty for certain serious offenses. Additionally, Jackie Chan would announce
What?
that he would donate the entirety of his reported $350 million net worth to charity and not pass it on to his son JC, adding, "If he is capable, he can make his own money. If he is not, then he will just be wasting my money."
He said, "To the death, I'm gonna be a horrible father." I'm gonna die on this hill of horrible parenting. Bro, imagine making all that money just for it to not stay in the family. At that point, like, what's the point of making? What was your drive throughout your whole life? Just for yourself? That's so selfish to me. He's giving it to charity, yada yada. Charities barely be giving the money to like the thing they're supporting. They barely be doing that. A lot of charities just be BSing. So it's just like, okay, Jackie.
Yeah. The problem is JC's earning capacity has been stifled pretty severely as a result of the public sentencing. For example, in the 3 years prior to his arrest, JC acted in 10 different movies. However, since his imprisonment almost 10 years ago, he's appeared in only 3
For
films,
weed.
one of which he wasn't
For
even
weed.
credited for as a result of the scandal.
For
JC
weed.
also lost endorsements from Adidas, Nivea, Yishion, Johnson & Johnson contact lenses, Stride Gum, KFC, and Chevrolet, with this rock bottom causing him to return to America, even though he was no longer a citizen there.
You know what's crazy? I guarantee you could find at least one rapper that's went to jail or prison for that's been on an ad for every single one of those. Every single one of those, I guarantee you there's a rapper that's had an ad with them. They are on meat. Adidas support NBA players. All of them smoke. So what are we talking about?
There. The father and son still share a residence in Hong Kong, though they don't spend much time together. As an actor, a businessman, and his city's unofficial goodwill ambassador at large, Jackie Chan has a busy schedule. The two seem to have reconciled since JC moved back to the USA, yet JC continues to differ himself, stating, "I don't want to always follow my dad's footsteps. I want to be different," adding that he's tired of being a person in his father's shadow.
That's fair.
Since moving back to the US, JC has made efforts to turn his life around, directing his first film in 2021 titled Goodnight Beijing, and according to IMDb, he has another 2 movies on the way.
So like the tragic tale of Jackie Chan's son is the tragic tale of Jackie Chan being a horrible father. That's all I heard.